Feet of snow are coming, not inches, feet. Up to 12 to 13 feet of additional snow is about to bury the Sierra Nevada mountains. And this is happening right now, on Christmas Eve, as millions of Americans are trying to celebrate the holidays. In 30 seconds, I'm going to reveal which major cities face a high risk for life-threatening flash flooding and why downtown Los Angeles is in the danger zone. But first, here's a number that should stop you in your tracks. 150 additional inches of snow. That's what's forecast for parts of the Sierra Nevada through Saturday morning. Picture this, a 2-story house. That's how much snow we're talking about. And the rain? Up to 10 inches in the greater Los Angeles area. In an area already saturated. In an area with burn scars from wildfires. In an area where mudslides kill. Does that sound safe to you? Here's your first reward for staying with me. At the 5-minute mark, I'll show you the exact timeline for when an ice storm threatens major cities like Baltimore, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. after Christmas. At 10 minutes, I'll reveal the Arctic air patterns setting up for the new year. And at 15 minutes, I'll break down the January snowstorm potential week by week. Let me paint you a picture of what's unfolding right now across America. A strong low-pressure system sits offshore of the West Coast. And it's not moving. It's just sitting there, like a fire hose pointed directly at California, pumping moisture straight into the state, hour after hour, day after day. Relentless. The precipitable water anomalies tell the story. We're seeing 250 to 350% of normal moisture. That's not a typo. 250 to 350%? That means we have more than triple the normal amount of moisture in the atmosphere. That moisture has to go somewhere, and it's going straight into California. The fire hose of moisture continues targeting downtown Los Angeles straight through Saturday morning. Then it starts to trickle off going into the weekend. But the damage? The damage will already be done. Right now, this Christmas Eve, very heavy rainfall is falling at rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour, including downtown Los Angeles, where there is currently a high risk for flash flooding. High risk, the National Weather Service's highest alert level, reserved for situations where they're certain that life-threatening flooding will occur. In the mountains, very heavy snow is falling at rates of 2 to 4 inches per hour across the Sierra Nevada. That will continue basically uninterrupted all the way through Saturday morning. Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen snow fall at 4 inches per hour for 48 hours straight? That's 192 inches. That's 16 feet of snow. The mountains are being buried alive. Stay with me, because at the 3-minute 20-second mark, I'm going to show you why meteorologists are calling this a life-threatening situation that requires immediate action. Mudslides are a very likely proposition across the West. When you dump this much rainfall in such a short amount of time, the ground can't absorb it, especially on burn scar areas where wildfires have destroyed vegetation and changed the soil composition. The water runs off, fast, gathering speed and debris as it goes, creating walls of mud that can sweep away houses, cars, and people. The rainfall totals are staggering. Through 7 a.m. Saturday, December 27th, up to another 8 to 10 inches is forecast for the greater Los Angeles area, all the way up the coast of California. Even southwestern Oregon getting another 2 to 4 inches. Here are the big cities in the mix. And if you live in any of these areas, you need to pay very close attention. Santa Barbara, Oxnard, Santa Clarita, Palmdale, the greater Los Angeles region, Riverside, just south of Victorville. These areas potentially have the high risk for life-threatening flash flooding. Life-threatening, not inconvenient, not problematic, life-threatening. The moderate risk zone, shown in red, extends from Santa Maria and Lompoc all the way down to Long Beach, Anaheim, Santa Ana, all the way to Oceanside, over toward Cathedral City. That's where significant flash flooding will be possible. Then you move up toward Bakersfield. That's a slight risk for flash flooding. Still a decent risk. And it extends as far south as San Diego. This isn't just California. Southern Nevada is in the mix. Northwestern Arizona, southwestern Utah, even the Las Vegas area faces flash flood risk. Tomorrow, Christmas Day, we're seeing a moderate risk for significant flash flooding in similar areas, from the Anaheim region into Los Angeles, Santa Clarita, all the way up toward Bakersfield. Christmas Day, the day families gather, the day children open presents, the day we're supposed to feel safe and joyful, and instead, people are facing life-threatening floods. Now, I promised you critical information at the 5-minute mark. Here it is. The snowfall forecast through 7 a.m. Saturday is mind-boggling. Snowfall amounts could be up to 150 additional inches. That's 12 to 13 more feet of snow for the Sierra Nevada mountains. The Cascades in Washington State and Oregon, a couple of feet. The Rockies into Idaho, western Montana, Wyoming, outside Salt Lake City, even western Colorado, a few feet of snow with the heaviest near Boise, Idaho. But here's what should terrify you if you're traveling. Wind gusts. Very strong wind gusts will be moving across the west coast, including Northern California, before daybreak tomorrow on Christmas Day. Wind gusts up to 70 to 80 miles per hour, especially in higher elevations. That's hurricane-force wind. In the mountains, with heavy snow falling, creating whiteout conditions, the visibility forecast shows it clearly. In the higher elevations, in the passes of the Sierra Nevada, we're going to see whiteout conditions literally almost uninterrupted through Friday afternoon. If you have to travel in the higher elevations, please travel with extreme caution. Put snow chains on, use snow tires. Better yet, avoid travel through the weekend in the higher elevations. It's going to be nasty out there. Here's a critical safety warning. Never drive on a flooded roadway. You don't know how much water is over the road. You don't know if the roadway is washed out underneath. Turn around. Don't drown. Every year, people die trying to drive through flooded roads. Don't be a statistic. Now let me shift to what's happening in the eastern United States. Because while the West deals with extreme precipitation, the East is setting up for winter weather after Christmas. This evening, we're seeing a couple snow showers and flurries across portions of the East, maybe the Northeast, up into Ontario and Quebec. Christmas Day starts with possible snowfall in Maine. Another clipper system moves through southern Canada, Saskatchewan, into Manitoba on Christmas Day. That moves into Ontario Christmas night. But here's where it gets dangerous. An ice storm threat develops. Northeastern Minnesota, near the Arrowhead region, down into northern Wisconsin and through Michigan, could see a light glaze up to a quarter-inch of ice. That makes roadways very treacherous. Scattered power outages may result. A quarter-inch of ice is enough to snap tree branches, enough to bring down power lines, enough to make driving impossible. Then the ice threat shifts. Friday night into Saturday morning, it moves down into Pennsylvania, Maryland, and southern New Jersey. Big cities are in the bullseye. Baltimore, Philadelphia, Trenton. Even Washington, D.C. could get ice and freezing rain where the colder air is deeper. In blue on the forecast maps, snow falls across New York State, Buffalo, Watertown, Albany, New York City, through Long Island, all the way to Hartford. That continues into the weekend. Then a larger snowstorm may be possible, especially for Quebec, as we get closer to the new year on December 30th. That could produce very cold weather and wind-driven snow across those areas. The snowfall forecast through 7 a.m. New Year's Day, January 1st, 2026, shows a couple more feet of snow possible in southern Canada, especially Ontario and Quebec. Decent snows into New York State. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan with lake effect off Lake Superior, portions of Maine getting hit. Otherwise, it's the mountains out west that see very heavy snowfall continuing. The wind forecast shows gusts into the northeast and southeastern Canada as low pressure really winds up around December 29th and 30th, just before the New Year holiday. We could see 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts, wind-driven snow, Arctic air, dangerous conditions right as people try to celebrate the new year. At the 10-minute mark, I promised information about temperatures and the Arctic pattern. Let me deliver. Right now, we're seeing very warm temperature anomalies across the United States, a big ridge of high pressure feeding southerly winds. We're seeing 35 to 40 degrees above normal temperature anomalies across much of the plains and into the Missouri Ozarks. Christmas Day is going to be a very warm one, Record highs are possible across the southern plains, along the Gulf Coast, through Dixie Alley, even into the Carolinas. We're talking 70 seconds, even some 80 seconds. Texas from Wichita Falls to Dallas to Waco, all the way down to Brownsville and westward to Lubbock. It's going to be very warm. But look at the contrast. 80 seconds in Texas, 80 below, with wind chills up in Greenland and much of Canada. Sub-zero wind chills going into Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. That Arctic air is coming. And it's not staying in Canada. Shots of cold air will be possible. One this weekend across portions of the Northeast and Quebec. A nice shot of colder air that will feed into our winter storm. Then a bigger, more significant shot of cold air comes into the eastern U.S. just before the New Year holiday on December 29th and 30th. Arctic air arrives. Then a third shot, more potent for the Northeast, behind our third winter storm as we go into the new year. Multiple waves of Arctic air, each one colder than the last, each one bringing winter storm potential. The snowpack shows what's happening. With warmer temperatures leading up to tomorrow morning, a lot of snow is melting. If you want a white Christmas, you have to go north into Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and the New England region. Or north into Canada, especially British Columbia, Ontario, Quebec, and Newfoundland. But that's about to change, dramatically. New Year's Day itself, once the clock strikes midnight, wind-driven snow falls across portions of Ontario, including Toronto, up toward Montreal, and into portions of New England. That imports colder air, gusty winds. If you have New Year's celebrations across the Great Lakes and into the Northeast, be ready. Very cold temperatures at midnight. Sub-zero wind chills, shown in teal colors, up into southeastern Canada. That's no joke. Bundle up if you're headed out for New Year celebrations, including the ball drop in New York City. Wind chills around 20 degrees. Still pretty chilly. Bundle up in layers. Start the car early if you're headed out to warm it up. Now, at the 15-minute mark, let me break down January 2026 week by week. We have big blocking patterns setting up near Scandinavia, maybe blocking on either side of Greenland. That will usher in colder air from the north as we go week by week into January. Week 1 of January, I think the coldest air is still in Western Canada and up into Alaska. We still see some mild trends, but cold shots will be possible. Week 2, between January 8th and 15th, really cold in Western Canada. The polar vortex will be back on our side of the hemisphere. This will give us trouble with cold air pushing south. Week 3, January 15th through 23rd. Colder air makes shots down into the northern United States and eastern U.S., while the southwest starts to warm up a bit. The last week of January, the 23rd through 31st, colder air resides in the east, with the west becoming milder. Also cold up in Alaska for the last week. How does that translate to snowfall? Let me show you. Week 1, we're seeing more clipper systems up to the north over top of the ridge of high pressure. Airflow around that is clockwise. A lot of this goes up and over the United States, through Canada, and into the Northeast. Week 2, from January 9th through 15th, that starts to push further south. The upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and Northeast start to get more snow. Real snow. Accumulating snow. Week 3, we start to see more Ohio Valley to Northeast snowstorms, maybe even Mid-Atlantic getting involved. The last week, we could potentially see southern snow if the cold air is strong enough in the eastern United States. Don't give up hope if you live in Virginia, Tennessee, the Carolinas, even northern Georgia. Snow may be possible in the second half of January for you. This is what meteorologists call a sustained pattern change. Not just one storm, not just one cold snap, a pattern. Weeks of active winter weather. Here's a statistic that should excite winter weather fans. Multiple blocking patterns, Arctic air locked and loaded, active storm tracks, all the ingredients for a very snowy second half of January. But it also means danger, cold, ice, heavy snow, difficult travel, power outages. Let me ask you something. Are you prepared for what January might bring? At the 20-minute mark, let me give you comprehensive safety guidance. For California and the West Coast dealing with extreme precipitation, first, Understand the flash flood threat. High risk means evacuate if ordered. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. When officials say go, you go. Have an evacuation plan ready now. Know your routes. Know where you're going. Have a meeting place for family. Pack a go bag. Important documents in waterproof containers. Medications, phone chargers, change of clothes, water, non-perishable snacks. Keep it by the door. Monitor weather alerts constantly. Flash floods develop in minutes. You need to be ready to act immediately. Never drive through flooded roads. Most flood deaths happen in vehicles. Turn around, don't drown. If you're in burn scar areas, be especially vigilant. Mudslides can occur with little warning. Know the signs: cracks in the ground, leaning trees, changes in water flow. If you see these, report them and get to safety. Secure outdoor items. High winds turn patio furniture into missiles. Bring things inside or tie them down securely. For mountain travel, avoid it if possible. Seriously. The conditions are going to be extremely dangerous. Whiteout conditions, hurricane-force winds, feet of snow. If you must travel, have a full emergency kit. Blankets, food, water, flashlight, phone charger, shovel, sand, or cat litter for traction. Tell someone your route and expected arrival time. Use snow chains or snow tires. It's not optional in these conditions, it's mandatory. Check road conditions before leaving. Many passes will close. Don't get stuck trying to cross a closed pass. For the Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast ice threat. Prepare for power outages before the ice arrives. Test flashlights. Stock up on batteries, candles, matches. Have food and water for at least 72 hours. 1 gallon per person per day for water. Non-perishable food. Get prescriptions filled now. Have a week's supply of critical medications. Backup heat source is critical. Fireplace, wood stove, portable heater with proper ventilation. Never use gas ovens for heat. Carbon monoxide kills. Charge all devices. Phone, laptop, tablets, battery packs. Your phone is your lifeline when power goes out. Know your neighbors. Check on elderly neighbors and those with special needs before the ice arrives. Protect pipes. Let faucets drip when ice threatens. Open cabinets under sinks for warm air circulation. Insulate exposed pipes. For the Arctic air and winter storms, layer your clothing. Multiple thin layers trap heat better than one thick layer. Limit outdoor exposure in extreme cold. Frostbite can occur in minutes when wind chills drop below zero. Watch for hypothermia symptoms, confusion, slurred speech, drowsiness. Get the person warm and call 911 immediately. Check on vulnerable people regularly. Elderly, homeless, those living alone, people with medical conditions. Cold is especially dangerous for these groups. Keep your vehicle gas tank at least half full throughout the cold period. In extreme cold, you may need to run your car for heat if stranded. Never leave space heaters unattended. Keep them away from flammable materials. Never use while sleeping. For New Year celebrations in cold areas, bundle up in layers. Don't let celebration override safety. Start vehicles early to warm them up, but never run a car in an enclosed space like a garage. Carbon monoxide will kill you. Have a designated driver. Ice and alcohol don't mix. Neither do cold and alcohol. Alcohol makes you feel warm, but actually lowers your body temperature. Know the signs of frostbite. Numbness, white or grayish skin, firm or waxy feeling. Get inside immediately if you experience these. As it says in Scripture, God gives us seasons for a reason. Winter tests us, it challenges us, but it also brings us together. When severe weather strikes, we see the best in people. Neighbors helping neighbors. Communities coming together. Strangers becoming friends through shared challenges. This Christmas, as we celebrate the birth of Christ, remember what that birth represents. God coming down to earth, humbling himself, meeting us where we are. We're called to do the same, to humble ourselves, to help others, to be the hands and feet of Christ in our communities. Check on your neighbors, share resources, offer shelter, shovel a driveway. These aren't just nice gestures, they're expressions of faith in action. Let me give you the complete timeline one final time. Today, December 24th, Christmas Eve. California under assault from atmospheric river. Heavy rain at 1 to 2 inches per hour. Heavy snow at 2 to 4 inches per hour in mountains. High-risk flash flooding in Los Angeles area. Wind gusts to 80 miles per hour in higher elevations. Tomorrow, December 25th, Christmas Day. California chaos continues. Record warmth in southern plains and Gulf Coast, 70 seconds and 80 seconds. Moderate risk flash flooding continues. Sierra Nevada continues getting buried. Possible snow in Maine to start the day. Friday, December 26th. Ice storm threat develops Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan. Light glaze to quarter-inch ice. California finally starts to dry out. Mountain snow continues. Saturday, December 27th. Ice threat shifts to Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Jersey, Baltimore, Philadelphia, D.C. in the zone. Snow across New York State. Moisture shuts off in California. Sunday, December 28th through Tuesday, December 30th. First shot of Arctic air. Wind-driven snow across Great Lakes and Northeast, building toward major storm for Quebec. New Year's Eve, December 31st. Cold, windy conditions for celebrations. Subzero wind chills across southeastern Canada. Wind chills around 20 inches New York City. January 2026. Week 1, cold shots possible. Week 2, polar vortex on our side. Significant cold. Week 3, colder air pushes into northern and eastern U.S. Week 4, cold locked in the east. Multiple snowstorm chances throughout the month. As we wrap up, remember this. The weather ahead is challenging. California faces immediate danger. The east faces winter weather and Arctic air. January looks active and cold, but we're prepared. We have warning. We have tools. We have community. All we need is the wisdom to use them and the faith to trust God through it all. Stay safe, stay warm, help your neighbors, keep your faith strong. Merry Christmas to all of you. May God bless you and keep you through these storms and into the new year.